Monday, the Nebraska State Bar Foundation, Nebraska Supreme Court, and the Hall-Howard County Bar Association sponsored the Law Day Luncheon celebration at Borders Inn & Suites. The keynote was on the use of drones and their legality. University of Nebraska professor Matt Waite said he wants to educate anyone he can about the devices.
I'm just trying to get the word out about these devices to as many different audiences as I can. I think a lot of times people have different and wrong ideas about these devices, and it's not just lawyers, not just journalists. It's a whole lot of people. They fall into one of two camps. They haven't thought about it at all, or they've seen too many movies. And the more kind of reasoned discussion that I think that can be had about there, the better off we're all going to be, because these devices are inevitable. I mean, the ability to fly in the air for very little cost has tremendous value, and so many different industries are going to use it, and so many different industries here in Nebraska. It's not just journalism that's going to use it. So the smarter we are about it, and the more we think about it, and the more we ask good questions as we're going through this time of figuring it all out, I think the better off we are.
Waite said there are several misconceptions about drones.
I think they all think they're a lot bigger than they really are. I think that people have seen a lot of news stories about drones in the military, and they tend to conflate them with each other. The devices we're talking about here and the devices that a lot of industries are talking about using are so much smaller than that. And I've done this so many times where people have come up to me and have been like, "Oh my God, you're talking about using these scary, big brother devices from the sky and coming to get me." And I say, come look at this device, and I'll just fly it around the room here and show it to you. And they see it and they go, "Oh my God, that's amazing, that's awesome." And a lot of it's just perceptions, and it's perceptions through movies, through television, through everything from the nightly news to South Park.
For the hobbyist that wants to fly a drone, there isn't much to getting started.
There's not a whole lot you have to do. You have to have money in your bank account and find a hobby store and go buy one. The rules for flying one, you generally have to alert the tower if you're within 5 miles of an airport. Out here in central Nebraska, there's plenty of places that are far away from an airport. You'll be fine. You have to stay under 400 feet. You shouldn't be flying over people or houses or anything like that. You should be fairly safe in an open space. Again, in central Nebraska, that's not hard to do. Don't fly at night and don't be dumb. The rules for a hobbyist just more or less amount to don't be stupid. For somebody who wants to make a buck, now it gets a lot harder. You have to file for what's called a Section 333 exemption. That exemption allows you to use these devices for commercial purposes, but you have to have a pilot's license of some variety. You have to fill out a whole bunch of paperwork to the FAA. You have to tell them what you're going to do, what you're going to fly. You have to give them all of your standard operating procedures. You should have aviation insurance. It's a much bigger deal than just being a hobbyist.
Earlier this year, the FAA proposed some changes to allow drones to be flown without a pilot's license for commercial use. Waite does not expect them to go into law until 2017. However, part of the proposed changes will not allow drone operators to fly over persons. Waite expects to see journalists use drones in the future, and despite many uses for flying over persons, he does not see it changing.
The argument about flying over people is based in safety, and the FAA is very uninterested in backing off of that. So it's going to require journalists to be creative. If, say, you wanted to just get a nice image of the county fair, you're not going to have it flying down the midway. You're going to have to back off. You're going to have to rope off an area. You just have to go straight up in the air, get your shot, come right back down, and sit there and not actually fly over anybody's head. Same with big protests or a high school football game. You're going to have to go down in the end zone there where there's nobody at and get up and shoot down the field. You're not going to be able to fly over the crowd. You're not going to be able to fly over the field or anything like that. So for a while anyway, it's going to require us to get creative and be smart about safety. But there are ways to do that.
Reporting in Grand Island, I'm Zach Mayhew.